Let's talk about those guards, Jay. Started with a incredible, entertaining home opening win on Friday.
Yeah.
Then the delay, then the postponement on Saturday, then the doubleheader on Sunday. It seemed like they were going to get no hit for 15 innings. The offense was MIA. See, I already sound better. And then CJ Kayfus and Gabriel Arias come out and save the day. When you guys look at the totality of the weekend, what's your biggest takeaway about the Guardians now being 6-4 and winning another series against a legitimate NL contender?
Our pitching is filth.
Yep.
Our hitting is mid to below. In fact, this weekend it was more on the trash side. And it's hard to say that because I got to tell you, it's an enigma, Jason. When teams hit this poorly, your stars are all hitting under 200. And so when that happens, you usually are under 500. But their pitching, Jay, has been better than advertised.
Yeah.
Better than advertised.
Messick's legit. Cantillo is terrific at the home opener. I think the hitting's going to be fine. It's never going to be elite. This lineup is not going to be elite. But I still, like, Manzardo's not going to hit 070 or whatever. He's totally lost at the plate right now.
Oh, my God. He's a mess.
But that'll come around. It's April 6th. And when Valera comes back, really the lineup to me looks totally different when Rhys Hoskins is in there as a right-hander versus when they start mixing and matching with everybody else. So when you can have Hoskins and Manzardo as first base DH, Kwan in center, DeLauder in the outfield, and hopefully Valera in the other corner spot, I just don't know how often they're going to be able to get there when you're trying to manage DeLauder's time in the field. You're trying to protect him a little bit, so you're trying to DH him or give him days off. Days when Hoskins isn't in there, it's funny how much shorter that lineup gets. I was talking to Meisel in the press box during the home opener, and I said, like, 5 through 9 is ugly, or 6 through 9. I don't remember now what it was. The bottom half of the order was
6 through 9.
Rough.
Yeah.
But then just adding him and Valera when he's healthy will really sort of extend that. Theoretically, you would think. Now these guys have to go out and produce. I'm not worried about Manzardo. He'll come out of it, but right now it looks like he can't see the ball or he's not tracking the ball. He's just not seeing it well at all right now. His OPS is like, I mean, that's like a mid batting average, and that's his OPS right now.
That's insane.
Jay, the Guardians remind me of like the baseball version of the Patriots, but they haven't won no championships. Like when you watch the Guardians, I kind of look at it from a perspective of when you have a culture and the organizational culture is we're feisty. We may not have the best players, but anybody who comes here understands what we do, and they just fall right in line and they play Guardians baseball. And I've been mad for well over 10 years because they always seem to not really make certain moves, but it's undeniable. They play this way no matter who they get. It does not matter. They can be no hit. It looks like they're not going to get any runs. But then there's times where you look at it and say, how are you 6-4 right now? I can't. Manzardo's not hitting the ball really well. You look at Hosey; he's not hitting the ball really well. They've gotten some timely hitting.
Kwan looks like he's lost his strike zone, Jay. Guys, he's challenging pitches that are strikes.
They are the worst team in the league at challenging.
I know they are. They're like 3-8 or 9.
It's unbelievable. They can never pick the right.
I got to tell you, to me, the biggest surprise offensively of the season, it's not Hosey. Hosey doesn't like it when it's cold like this.
He'll be fine.
Manzardo, I agree. He looks clunkier to me than he did last year, but he'll come around. But I don't understand how a guy who I thought had total command of the strike zone, he spit on balls that were inches off the plate, centimeters off the plate. He never chased bad pitches. This guy, I'd like to see a stat on how many looking strikes he has this year.
Yeah.
He's watched countless pitches this year.
Yeah.
Are in the heart of the plate, and he's just spitting on them. I don't know what he looks for.
Is that a stat I can look up? Is that actually a stat?
I don't know if it is. I'd love to see if it is.
Check on Baseball Savant.
I'll see if I can find it. Yeah.
They got a bunch there.
Looking strikes. He's just spitting on balls that are in the heart of the zone.
Yeah.
Yesterday, again, this is the second or third time it's happened to him this year. He's challenged a pitch that was called a strike.
Yeah.
Or it was called a strike, and it was clearly a strike.
Yeah.
One time it wasn't even touching the edges. And that's odd for me for him because he had such command of the strike zone before.
It's a very underrated part of the baseball is knowing when it's going to be a strike or understanding when to swing and not.
Yeah, he's not himself right now, and I think he's even admitted that.
Do you think it's the switch to center field?
No, honestly, I wonder how much of it is trying. He's got a contract coming
So
up.
he's pushing.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's.
Well, you know the answer to that? Sign an extension with the Guardians right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've been trying.
That takes the pressure off immediately.
And I'm just spitballing. I don't know if that's it or not. But I'm watching the guy at the plate who has always been one type of player, and it looks like he's trying to be a different type of player.
Right.
And you add the contract in, and I just wonder if
it could make sense.
He's hit a couple loud outs in the alleys where it looked like it was going to go further off the bat when you hit it, and it hasn't. I don't know if he's
rolled over on a few that he never did before. He's had some weak pop outs that he's never
just
had
looks
before.
Different. To me, he looks different. I think you said it's a very underrated part of hitting. To me, I think the building blocks of becoming a good hitter is recognition.
Yeah.
Not just strike or ball, but also what you're looking at. Is that a splitter? Is that a fastball? Is it a cutter? And you have such a short amount of time in distance and in actual time to make that determination.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre to me that a player that had such great awareness and recognition looks completely lost at the plate right now. And to me, it starts with recognition.
Yeah.
What am I looking at? It's almost as if, and I hope this isn't the case, because hitters will go through these kind of cycles where they start guessing. You know, oh, I know this pitcher. I've studied this pitcher. He likes to start with a cutter. He likes to start. And, you know, the one thing about baseball is it's so analytic now that the counter to analytics is changing up what you do.
Yep.
I was just going to ask.
And I think that's what's going on. And he hasn't adjusted well to that.
Jay, I
And
found your stat.
is it anecdotal or is there
No,
something
you're right.
here?
You're right. So shout out to Baseball Savant. If you don't use Baseball Savant,
It's unbelievable.
it is awesome.
Yeah.
I told you my voice would sound better.
It does. Yeah.
This season, Stephen Kwan is only swinging at 53.6% of pitches he's faced in the strike zone.
That's
For
unbelievable.
comparison,
That's
the
unbelievable.
MLB average this season is 67%.
Okay, so I'm not exaggerating.
Well below average.
I am not exaggerating.
Significantly below average.
And it's every at bat that I watch, I say as he's digging in, all right, let's take a look at a beauty for strike one. And shoo, strike one.
Does it have his numbers on previous years?
It does.
What was he even last year?
58.8%
So still
in the
Still
zone
well below
swing
the
rate.
league average.
Yeah, so he's down 5.2% even from last year.
Right.
57.7% swing rate in the zone in 2024.
Okay.
59% swing
He's
rate.
always been below the average. That's
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year, his lowest of his career, though, by a significant margin.
Yeah, he's
And
looking at too many good pitches. And I don't know why he's being so selective.
Is that his approach? Is it, you know, because you mentioned like looking at a book of what the pitcher normally does to you and what he's trying to do. You know, how much of it is it when you get into the cages and you're working with the hitting coach, your game plan for that day? Like,
Well, there's micro and macro. There's and Jay, you know this if AJ's taken hitting lessons. The macro is what's your approach? And basically the way you find your approach is where are your hot zones? And you can very easily figure that out. You set the pitching machine up to hit all 9 quadrants. And you just take 20 swings at each one. Where am I barreling up the ball? It's usually middle. Usually that's where, which would be the 5 quadrant if you start upper left and you just start counting to the bottom. That middle quadrant is the X zone, and that's the one that I know personally. I love it. I also love center in. I like a ball in on my hands a little bit, and some guys like them out. Some guys would rather extend their arms, but he knows what it is. So in the macro, he knows where he likes his pitches, where he has the best chance of doing damage. In the micro, that changes day to day based on who you're facing. Are you facing a lefty? Are you facing a righty? Are you facing a guy that likes to throw a lot of stuff away? Are you facing a guy that likes to throw it? So sometimes if they're not a match, like if you like your stuff middle in and the guy just always works out, then that's not a great match for you. You might be more prone to spit on pitches on a day like that. But to me, I've seen it since the season opener, and I've seen it consistently every game. He's looking at pitches that are center cut.
Not Kwan. On the positive note, though, Kayfus and Arias were the heroes yesterday in the second
were,
game.
yeah.
Basically non-existent offense for 15 innings. And then those two both provided multiple hits from the sixth and beyond. Jason, when you look at Kayfus and Arias, guys who up until that point hadn't provided much offensively at all, how big was it to see names not named DeLauder or Jose be the guys to kind of spark that comeback?
I mean, Arias is like watching a fever dream. I just don't understand.
I don't either.
Like the opening, he blows the ball on opening day. Jose wanted to strangle him right there on the field.
I know
he was jumping.
jumping around on the field.
And by the way, that was their only run of the day. Now, it was still an earned run, but that's an unearned run.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it was totally on Arias.
Yeah, but then he comes back and he goes the opposite field with the home run.
I know.
He's
That
just,
tweet? I think I saw somebody sent me something this weekend. It looked like it was a Jose Ramirez tweet about Arias, and I think it said the most confusing player I've ever seen.
I would be surprised.
Can you check
if
on that,
Jose
Mike?
tweeted
I want to
that.
make sure that was because I don't always investigate all this stuff. But if it's real,
Jose hasn't tweeted since 2023. So.
Yeah.
okay.
I
So
don't-
I feel better knowing that. It looked like it must be a parody account. I just don't understand this guy. That's why it made sense that wow, Jose's taking a shot at this guy, but
Yeah, that's on Jose like.
No,
but
no.
I mean, Arias. I mean, we've seen enough. This is who he is. There's a lot of this. He'll go.
But you know, because of this, and this is so good that
It's
almost makes
tantalizing.
the valleys not be so bad. However,
I'm done.
I am too, and
I'm
here's
done.
why. You know now that this is who he is.
Yeah.
This is consistent.
Yeah.
He's going to hit balls out of the zone, opposite field. He's got a tremendous swing. I was listening to the Cubs broadcast on, when did he homer? Friday. No, Saturday.
Oh, the opener.
Yeah, the opener. Okay.
Yeah.
And they were like, this guy's scouting report is really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Because he can do that.
Yeah.
And then he'll go up there. He had a game this year. He homered earlier in the week.
Seattle, right?
His next two at-bats were
LA.
6-pitch at-bats. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. He swung at all 6, and 5 of them were out of the strike zone. And I said, this is the time capsule of Gabriel Arias' career.
Yeah.
He'll hit a home run and make it look so easy, and then he'll strike out the next 2 times on 3 straight pitches, and all of them are bad swings and out of the zone.
He's the Dean Wade of baseball.
Vanilla Wolf.
He's like for real, and he even looks better because he let his hair grow out, and now he's a big shortstop. You're like, oh man, he is catfishing you. If you go to the game and you never knew the Guardians and you pulled up and seen Arias,
Yeah.
and you said, hey, which one of these guys are a dude, and you never knew who Jose Ramirez was, or you'd be like, it has to be. He's the shortstop. He got the flowing golden
got
locks.
the bleach
he
mullet.
He got power. He's big. He's rangy. And then you see him boot a ball in the base, on the base paths, and then he swings at 3 pitches, and you're like, yeah, he's not that good.
Jay, I said this in spring training to a couple of people that cover the team that were down there talking about it.
Yeah.
And this was my prediction. I said, I think what we have going on is the middle infield Olympics.
Yep.
And until June 1st, it's basically mano a mano.
Yep.
It's Rocchio v. Arias. Who is going to stay on this baseball team? And at this point, even
winning.
though Arias' power numbers and that arm at short is the most intoxicating thing about his game.
Absolutely. We
when
haven't even
he
talked
lets
about
one
it.
go from deep in the hole, you will.
It is a howitzer.
There's not another arm in baseball
Yeah.
quite like his.
Yeah.
And it's intoxicating, but I think that we're having the middle infield Olympics, and I think that they're deciding which of the 2 will stay and who will go once Bazana comes up June 1st or whatever.
Bazana has to hit.
Bazana has
He's
it.
hitting 200.
I know, but he had a walk-off the other day.
Congratulations.
I've seen 2 of his highlights. Now,
He's
both
got
of
an
his highlights,
OPS around
obviously,
like 710,
They're highlights for a
715.
reason. But
It's the-
I think he's the guy.
It's I'm going on the DeLauder principle. Yeah, I would have liked to see you be not injured, but given the fact that what you've done, I'm giving Bazana 3 extra credit points that he didn't earn because I want to see him, because I feel like I want to see young dudes play.
What is his line? Can you give me right now Travis Bazana's line?
If you stall for 1 second.
Okay, while you're looking at that, we can at least talk about Arias in this vein. I do think that of the 2 on the trade market, I think he's more marketable.
I don't think either one of them are.
I'm
don't
not
think
saying either one of them
has
are
value.
pieces,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is with Rocchio, I think if you put blindfolds on for the 2024 postseason, there'd be no reason to acquire him.
Yeah.
None. The only thing he showed me in the 2024 postseason is this dude's got ice water in his veins. This guy can hit in the clutch. and I love that about him. He's solid defensively. I like him in the infield. With Arias, I just think that the ebbs and flows are too great. I do think that neither of them are going to bring you great trade value, but I do think that Arias would bring you something.
I mean, they've been trying for years for one of these guys to take hold of the job.
They've been
begging.
They
haven't.
Yeah. Okay. What's Bazzana's line?
8 games this year for AAA Columbus. He is hitting .212 with the .710 OPS, no homers, 2 RBIs.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, he's got to. He has to.
Not great.
They can't just invite him up because the calendar says it's time. He has to. He's got to hit. He's got to. He's got to be hot when he comes up here. So for AAA, that's pitiful.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is bring him up and watch him falter, and then you send him back down. Now Arias is gone,
and he knows.
Now what?
He knows all these dudes from his draft class are already here and having various levels of success. So that's going to put added pressure on himself.
It's 8 games too.
Exactly.
It's early. He hit the ball. He hit the hell out of it in spring training.
So if he gets hot, if he finds his rhythm a little bit, I'm sure they'll bring him up. I would say by Memorial Day, but he has to earn it. He has to hit his way onto the.
We do.
As
we head to break, I would just say this, and I can only imagine what Nolan Jones is going through right now. Like a guy like Nolan Jones, who has traveled 5-star, all of the finest hotels, and now he's down in Columbus. I wonder if Bazzana is going through a little bit of big leaguer withdrawal. He was with the Guardians for spring training.
Yeah.
He played well.
Yeah,
he was with
tough.
Australia in the WBC.
Yep.
I'm sure that was 5-star all the way. And now he finds himself staying at the Days Inn again. Mm-hmm. And there's maybe he's like, oh my God.
There's a real easy way to fix that.
Yep, hit,
and
come on
you
back
will be
up.
here.